Hey guys, it's Daniel, a licensed therapist. After doing a reaction video to Donald Trump's childhood, I got some requests naturally to do Joe Biden's childhood, but I thought about it and I thought that there wasn't much to react to for Joe Biden. And after doing a little digging into his childhood, I was right. Not that he's not an interesting guy, he's the president of the United States, but I just felt like there wasn't much to react to. But his son, Hunter. Wow! Ladies and gentlemen, I've been a therapist for over 20 years and I've worked in a bunch of different environments, and I've worked with people who have been severely abused. I've worked with people who were insanely rich, insanely famous. I've worked with people who had parents who were insanely rich. I've worked with people who had drug addiction. So I've seen a lot. But, and this is not an exaggeration, this isn't hyperbole, I haven't seen anyone even close to Hunter Biden. So Hunter's famous for obviously his president dad, but also for the whole laptop scandal. But did you guys know, and this has to be one of the hugest coincidences in the world, but he's also one of the most successful artists in the world. He sold his heart for about $1.5 million. Isn't that such a crazy coincidence? But all of that pales in comparison to what we're going to react to today. And generally speaking, for people, I have this equation. And the equation goes something like this: your pain and your trauma minus your coping skills, your strength, and your resilience. And that equals the dysfunction that we see in your life. So if we see a huge level of dysfunction in Hunter's life, that must mean something in the equation is off. Either he has a huge amount of pain or he has just a tiny amount of resilience. Something like that, right? I looked into his childhood and actually there's not much written there, but I was able to find one traumatic event. And that was when he was 3 years old. He was in a car crash, a very traumatic one, where his mom and his younger sister actually passed away. So him and his brother survived that car crash. And is that trauma sufficient enough to explain a crazy life? And I'm thinking, no, it's not sufficient enough. There has to be something else. Maybe he experienced other trauma. Maybe Joe's parenting caused a lot of pain in his life. Or maybe he has very, very little resilience. Something has to make that equation work to let us know why there's that amount of dysfunction. But I just couldn't find it. So I think that there are some missing pieces, and that's just the reality, guys. We're not going to have the whole picture, but what we are going to do is react to the craziness, which is Hunter Biden's life.
So the story of Hunter Biden starts out in 1988. He's 18 years old, and Joe Biden and the family are out on a trip by Jersey Shore. Everyone's having a blast until little old Hunter gets his first slip up. He gets arrested for narcotics possession. But did he get a ticket? Did he get some jail time? His dad did famously say we need to hold every drug user accountable.
We have to hold every drug user accountable.
But instead, he got a pre-trial intervention. Well, what's a pre-trial intervention? It's community service while having your record expunged.
So unfortunately, drug addiction is not an uncommon thing. But at 18, I just tend to lean toward he's coping with something. Drugs are one of the biggest coping mechanisms, and we use it to cover up or escape from the pain. So it leads me to think, like I said, that he's trying to escape from some kind of pain. But he's 18. 18-year-olds are not known for their good decision making. Teenagers are marked by exploring. They're marked by peer pressure. They're marked by not expecting any consequences. So if the story ended today, I would say, okay, yeah, maybe it was just one of those things. He's just a teenager. But that's not the end of the story. And strap in, boys. It's about to get crazy.
It's 1993 and Hunter graduates from Georgetown and gets into law school. So he's in law school, he starts partying even more. And while he's partying, he meets a girl named Kathleen. And after a couple of weeks of hanging out, she gets knocked up. And within 3 months of that, they got married.
So we have a shotgun wedding. And keep in mind, guys, he's the son of a senator, so I'm pretty sure he got chewed out by Joe. And that was a big reason why he got married. Maybe if Joe didn't have this aspiration in his political career, he would have just let it go and Hunter wouldn't have married this girl, but he wound up marrying her. And yeah, this might be crazy for the son of a senator who should have had this great childhood, but in the grand scheme of things, this isn't outside the bounds of what's normal behavior for people. But I do feel like this is the beginning of what we can see as bad decision making. Let's keep going.
And while on a month-long drinking binge, Hunter decided he was going to join the military and serve his country at the ripe old age of 44. And on May 7th, he was assigned to the Reserve Naval Unit in Norfolk. So Hunter gets sworn in from a small ceremony with his father at the White House. And on his first day, Hunter had to submit a drug test. He submitted the test, and then just a few months later, he gets a letter in the mail stating that cocaine was found in his system. And under Navy rules, a positive test triggers a discharge.
Wait, what? He wanted to go to the Navy at 44? I'm not exactly sure what he was thinking, and I feel like all we can do really is speculate at his decision-making process, but what do you think? He was going to be some kind of war hero at 44? It sounds kind of like he has some delusions of grandeur here. I don't want to say that he did, but it just seems that way. And him getting kicked out a few months later, did he not know that they drug test? Didn't he know that you can't take drugs in the military? Someone must have told him. And if he knew and went ahead and did it anyways, I feel like that says a lot. But it seems like at the very least, there's a lack of people in his life guiding him and telling him that, hey, this is a bad idea. But like I said, this is all speculation. We have a lot of missing puzzle pieces here. All we can do is really react. But let's see what happens next.
So just a couple of months later from being discharged from the Navy for using cocaine, Hunter gets a nice cushy job on the board of Burisma. With no previous experience in energy, working at the largest Ukrainian gas and energy firm. And you want to know how much Hunter Biden made? He made $86,000 a month.
In the list that you gave me of the reasons why you're on that board, you did not list the fact that you were the son of the vice president.
Yeah, no.
What role do you think that played?
I think that it is impossible for me to be on any of the boards that I just mentioned without saying that I'm the son of the Vice President of the United States.
Maybe this isn't a good idea to go and sit on the board of this
Well, I just said to you.
Ukrainian company.
I said to you, in retrospect, I wish
Right, but
that
at
my
the
judgment.
time, you never thought, this might not look right.
You know what? I'm a human. And you know what? Did I make a mistake? Well, maybe in the grand scheme of things, yeah.
Oh man, Hunter. Guys, I think we're starting to see that these decisions are very tone deaf. I feel like he just lacks this ability to know how these decisions are going to come off to other people. Maybe he just has a very low sense of self-awareness. And this reporter, I give her a lot of credit. She really was pushing the issue, but I look at Hunter and he was able to, at least to his credit, say, yeah, hindsight, that was not a good decision, and he owned up to it. And so there's a level of awareness here, but at the time, it was a terrible decision, in my opinion. And is it going to get crazier? Yeah, it gets crazier.
Good evening. The political world tonight is mourning the death of Beau Biden, the son of Vice President Joe Biden, who succumbed to brain cancer Saturday at the age of 46.
His brother Joseph dies of a brain tumor. It's unexpected, it's a real tragedy. And during this time, Hunter starts using even more.
So this is really tragic. And when we talk about trauma, this is the kind of stuff that I'm looking for. A huge loss, unexpected, of someone that he really loves. And for me, this is the first time I would say that Hunter has experienced real pain that was outside of his control. This is something that just happened to him. So this is a really sad event for him. And I wonder how it's going to affect him.
And his wife forced him to go to couples therapy. And they reached an agreement that if Hunter started drinking again, he would have to move out of the house. And the day after their 22nd anniversary, Hunter left his couples therapy session, drank a bottle of vodka, and moved on out. A month later goes by of this. He's moved out, and he decides, I'm gonna get sober again. Let's go to rehab. And he's really trying to show his wife that he was cleaning up. He wanted to make things work with her. So he's in rehab, and then all of a sudden,
A website that encourages people to cheat on their partners is reeling from a huge data breach. AshleyMadison.com executives confirmed this morning that their website has been hacked.
The Ashley Madison hack happens. And you know whose name was in the database? Hunter Biden. Not only that, his credit card was on file, pictures were on file, photos were on file. And because of that, Hunter and Kathleen finally decided to separate, not get divorced, due to the Ashley Madison hack revealing that he was cheating on her this whole entire time. And Hunter continued to use and fall down the dark hole of drug abuse for a couple of months.
So this to me was so wild. Just imagine, you're the son of the vice president. You're wealthy, you're powerful, and you sign up for a website. You enter your personal information, you upload your pictures to help you cheat on your wife. Do you really need help to cheat on your wife? There's a lot of people that aren't powerful, that aren't wealthy. They have no problem cheating on their wife. In fact, I think the struggle is not cheating on your wife. So I look at this decision making and I'm just scratching my head. I can't really understand or explain it. And once again, we have the smattering of drugs and alcohol addiction. Can it get any crazier than this, guys?
It's about a month later. Hunter and his dead brother's widow, Haley, went to the Hamptons with their children, really just trying to get away from it all. And Hunter would spend nights over at Haley's house watching TV, and Hunter stated, "I started to think of Haley as the only person in my life who understood my loss." They were starting to get closer and closer, while Hunter was still married to his wife.
What? Hunter, what are you thinking? Okay, guys, let's get personal here. Coincidentally, I have an older brother that's about a year older. So I'm in exactly Hunter's position. And coincidentally, my brother is married to a lovely woman. My sister-in-law is amazing. She's awesome. I love her to death. But you know what? She is probably the last person I want to get with. And I'm guessing she would say the same about me. This is personal, but I don't know. Am I crazy, guys? Would you get with your brother's wife? If you would, please leave it in the comments below. I am super curious. But like I said, I would rather die alone by a mile. So once again, the decision making. What in the world is going through his mind? And it's not just in one area, such as relationships or vocation. It's in multiple different areas, and to the point where it's so extreme in different areas that it's mind-boggling.
Did you just say mind-boggling?
Yeah, mind-boggling. You know, when things are so crazy, it gets your thoughts all trapped like in a bottle.
But wait, guys, it gets crazier.
So Hunter, who was already moved out of his marital home with his estranged wife Kathleen, somehow kind of dating his dead brother's widow Haley, he made plans to go head to a detox center in Arizona to get cleaned up. And while he was on the layover flight in LA, he got sidetracked, lost something in the flight. He had to stay in LA for a week. So the minute he got to LA, he walked up to a homeless man and asked him, "Hey man, you know where I could buy some crack?" The man took him to a nearby homeless encampment where, in a narrow passageway between the tents, someone put a gun to his head before realizing that he was a buyer. And Hunter returned a few more times to buy crack that week, while partying in strip clubs and nightclubs all throughout LA. And after a week-long crack binge, Hunter decided, I'm gonna go just drive to the rehab myself in Arizona, while in the midst of a crack episode. So he rents a car at Hertz and takes off on a 7-hour trip in the middle of the night to go head to rehab. So he's driving down Interstate 10, listening to tunes, smoking some crack, and then all of a sudden lost control of his car. Jumped the median, skipped to the stop on the shoulder on the westbound side. His car was totaled. So Hunter called Hertz, who collected the damaged car and gave him a second rental. And he told him that there was a barn owl that flew overhead when I was driving, and I just had to swerve the car because I didn't want to hit the owl. Hertz takes the car back, they give him a new one, he's on his merry way. And that night, Hunter arrived at the rehab in Prescott and dropped off the car at the Hertz Rent-A-Car Center. So when Hertz took back the car, they're cleaning the car, they're seeing if he left anything inside. And what did they find? Well, Hertz ended up calling the police because of what they found. They found a bag of crack, a meth pipe, Secret Service business cards, Hunter's credit cards, Hunter's driver's license, and his dead brother Joseph's Attorney General badge. But Hunter was not around. The police had no idea where he was at. So within the hour, the police ended up calling the FBI to get involved. And while they're requesting the warrants on the phone, the police get a call from a Secret Service agent. And he informs them that Hunter is safe and secure and there's no need to worry about him. Even though it was a Biden family member, the district attorney was still going to bring a case against Hunter. So they're building the case, but then last minute they decide to drop it. The reason why they decided to drop the case was citing a lack of evidence. There wasn't any fingerprints on the pipe, even though it was confirmed that there was crack cocaine residue all over the pipe. And once again, Hunter is on his merry way.
Dude, what kind of crazy story is that? So sure, there's lots of crazy stories out there, but stack this on top of the other crazy decisions that he's made and it's just flying off the handle. And I think that this story really gives us a sense and a feel of Hunter's instability. It seems like he's just not able to stay stable and make good decisions and string a lot of good decisions in a row. And really the amount of bad decisions and laws broken here and the lack of consequences is pretty shocking. I mean, practically nothing happened. Probably he got chewed out by Joe or something like that, but nothing really happened to him. And for that, we understand because of the position he's in and where his dad is, but I think we have to start looking at the other people around him. And I don't know if I've ever seen this level of enabling. It's pretty crazy. Is it going to get crazier? Yeah, it is.
So just 1 week after the Hertz rent-a-car accident, he's in rehab and his dead brother's widow, Haley, flew out to go see Hunter. And during their stay, they got extremely close. And they decided that they were going to be a couple, but keep their relationship a secret, hiding from Hunter's wife and the press. But soon the press found out, and Hunter's wife. Titled, Beau Biden's Widow Having an Affair with Married Brother. Within a couple of months, Hunter's wife, Kathleen, filed for divorce.
So now I think we can see that the enabling is just out of control. We can't just look at Hunter here. There's a whole host of people in this situation who are complicit. What are these people thinking? I mean, his brother's widow, she knows Hunter. She's seen his life up until this point. Why would she want to engage in a relationship with him? And his wife, how did she not leave him way before this? She met him years and years ago in law school, and they got married because they had a baby. What kept her in this for so long? And Hunter, didn't you see this coming? Didn't someone say to him, hey, this is probably the worst idea possible. Don't do this. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe he just doesn't have those people around him. But one thing I feel like is evident. Hunter Biden is going to do what Hunter Biden wants to do.
It's 2018 and Hunter's going to tons of strip clubs. And one stripper catches his eye, Dallas. And he loves Dallas. And he's hanging out with Dallas, everything's all great. And just a couple of months later, Dallas goes up to Hunter and tells him that she's pregnant with this kid. And Hunter wants nothing to do with it. So she has the kid, she goes to court trying to get child support. And in the middle of all of this, they demand a paternity test being done. So while the test is being done, Hunter meets a woman, Melissa Cohen. And after just 6 days of meeting her, they got married. They got matching tattoos as well. And Melissa and him buy a house together in LA. And while they're doing all of this, Dallas comes back with the paternity test results, and it is Hunter's kid.
Yep, he did it. He fell in love with a stripper and had a baby. And so now the standing president has an illegitimate grandchild. So are there people more dysfunctional than Hunter? Sure, I'm sure there are. But I don't think there are that many, and I haven't come across a lot in my history and experience. So I would say Hunter's level of dysfunction would be considered elite. So let's go back to that equation that I talked about at the beginning of the video, because I don't think that equation applies to Hunter. He is in such a unique position as the son of the president that we have to change the equation around. So let's take the equation as is. The pain and the trauma minus the strength, the resilience, and the coping mechanisms equals dysfunction. But I think we have to put that all into parentheses and we have to multiply that by zero accountability, crazy enabling, no limits to money and power, and zero consequences. And the cherry on top is knowing that you're going to have zero consequences. And I feel like that really does explain Hunter Biden. Thanks for watching, you guys. If you have anything you want me to react to, if it's another person or a scene from a movie or something from the news, please leave it in the comments down there. And if you enjoy this content, leave a like and please consider subscribing. Thanks, you guys. See you next time.